So this is George here, and he's 5 years old. He's going to be 6 next month. Well, in about 8 weeks, I guess. Not quite next month. Right? Yeah. He's running his old dad's John Deere. They believe this is a 50 or a 540 model. It doesn't have numbers on it. This is way back from the 1970s. Right? Yep. And he's running his brother's red wagon. And this is a Farmall wagon that we got off of probably Outdoor Toys or Outback Toys for Trey a few years ago, and Trey's outgrown it, so George is doing some farming. Today his brother's been cutting the grass and saving all the clippings, and the cows and the chickens are nibbling away at it. We're gonna go feed the cows. Go ahead, bud. He has been working at this all day. As you can see and hear, he's got a ways to go, and those cows are counting on him. Now, are we only giving them to these two?
Only giving them to these two.
Yep. More. More, she says. The black one's the boy, and the spotted one's a girl. Their moms were Holstein and Holstein mix. Their dad was a Angus. That's why he's so dark. We don't do anything with the horns of our cows. We just let them be natural. We don't dock their tails or anything like that. We let the calves stay with their mom for several months before taking them off. So their moms are off and gone. Everybody's gone off to pasture, and they're on their own. This way, they're separate from the big ones, and they don't have any competition for feed. Well, it's just about time to start our square baling. I'm doing a little bit of barn organization up here in the loft. I'm above the cow pens right now, the former pig pens, and we have been having straw up here. We found we had a half a load, semi-trailer load of straw, and I believe we're going to relocate that to this loft because this will not finish out the trailer for the most storage space. Then this can be finished off with hay storage. We've got a little bit of hay left up here on the other side of the loft. There's a dry floor in between the two sections, and I would guess there's probably 300 to 400 bales over there, maybe a little more. And we have only been doing round bales for our first cutting so far. Some people, though, cannot handle a round bale, and they'd still be okay with some first cutting. This is all second and third cutting from 2023. So it still has plenty of good nutrients in it. Some people just prefer the looks of the green hay. Otherwise, there's really no difference. The cows in the barn underneath me have had some round bales. It is a little rich for them. So the cow that's about to have a baby, she's doing better on this older hay that's not so rich and green. You don't want to start causing problems with bloat or diarrhea. She needs to be gaining at this point, not losing any weight as far as that goes. Still very highly nutritious for her. So let's try to get over there and get a little better accurate count of what we've got left. That's the nice thing about farming and doing what we're doing, is nobody is pushing on us. Occasionally the weather will push on us a little bit to get some jobs done, or maybe we get a little, backlogged with projects that we've started and not finished, and then you just kind of get into taking care of things on your own. Today he got that other hay field finished, and he said, I'm going to get ahead again. He's starting in on a second cutting on this south hay field. It's been about a month since he cut it, like I said, and he's just decided, let's go ahead and take it down. So you can see these are some real nice second cutting bales here. He's over there baling the first cutting of that section that hadn't gotten done. So to only get 3 out of that field, that's not a lot. So due to our heavy lifting with the round bales, the homemade bale spear actually snapped, and he had to re-weld it and then add some gussets. So instead of having just a straight pipe, it was bouncing around a lot and it snapped or sheared right off there. So he added some extra welding and extra metal to help take some of that up, and I think he said he's going to add some more here. I've seen some bale spears that have 2 extra spears that come out here into the top or the bottom of the bale to help support it so it's not bouncing so much. So this was a completely homemade and fabricated deal. We drove all over last year trying to find bale spears and finding what we needed to hook it to the backhoe, because all bale spears we found were either 3-point tractor mount or on a skid steer, which we don't have. And a tractor mounted 3-point deal won't lift it up high enough with our tractors to load it onto somebody's trailer. So of all the round bales that he did yesterday, 2 big loads and 2 small loads went out today, and it was something like 40 bales. Somebody has to come back and get 1 more tomorrow that they didn't have room for. And we are at the very last of this first cutting. He sold all the second cutting bales that were up front from the small south field, and we're still getting messages from people wanting to buy this as fast as we can make it. So no rain's coming still for days. I had said that they were talking about 6 days of rain. Now they've canceled it down to 4. So we're crossing our fingers that the rest of it's still gonna grow. You can see how fast it's yellowed. This has been raked yesterday. I'm losing track of the days on the raking and baling because he's having to do it very fast because it's so hot. It was supposed to be in the 80s yesterday and it was 90. But you can see the grass is all brown. It's very crispy. You got a little bit of green, but the alfalfa is growing. So that's the good thing here, is that we're still getting that. So those second cutting bales that went out were a very high percentage of the alfalfa. And they were feeding, I think they said goats. So those last bales that went out were a very high percentage of alfalfa, because that's what's growing right now. It can get down to that ground moisture. I tried doing a few rhubarb divides yesterday. You could hardly dig into the ground at all. So I'm actually going to go water that ground now. I've been selling off a lot of my rhubarb plants as divides because I just have too many. And honestly, I think the row has gone to about 30 feet and it just keeps getting bigger. It's about buying hay, and I want to tell you that last year's hay in 2022 is pretty well sold out for most places. Now, we actually had a surplus because we filled semi-storage trailers. We reduced our herd a bit over the winter and the spring by selling off about 3 or 4 bulls, and the calves are getting larger, so they're eating more food. So you're constantly balancing out your feed based on the size of your herd. Now is the time, if you can get second cutting for 2023, to fill your barn, because we don't know what the tonnage is going to be for 2023 second cutting, or if there's even going to be a third cutting. We started early and we keep getting these rain showers every couple of days. See that truck down there? This lady came a week ago. She's been messaging for a week and a half about coming and buying hay. Well, when you don't have a truck or trailer, we can do delivery, about 30 bales at a time on our cart. However, she's outside of our delivery area. So she decided the best thing for her to do, because she has a narrow gate, is for her to rent a truck and come to pick up the hay. So we're going to load her up with 50 bales of hay is the plan. However, 4 days, it has anticipated weather yesterday and today, thunderstorms on and off. So it's starting to lighten up a little bit, and it's hopefully going to move out. But she has that truck for a couple hours and she has to go return it. So we're standing here waiting for the rain to go. No straps, no tarp. And we're just going to do the best we can, because once we get her loaded, it's her hay, and
the rest is up to her. So the good thing about a situation like this is I've moved her 50 bales to where we drop it down. There used to be a barn door here. We just opened it up and made it bigger for the hay elevator, so it works really good to have that there. She had already came and looked at the hay several days ago. Now, we're firm believers that if you are selling hay, you should have livestock, because we get different types of hay. First cutting is always, you know, sketchy with hay customers. They want to have second cutting, they want to have third cutting, you know, things like that. This is what was our waterway hay. It's a real wiry, thin hay, and we try to just keep that on hold for ourselves. It's just different. It's this real thin stuff. It's soft and beautiful when you cut it, and then it just always is wiry. So sometimes you get a mixed bale, and that's fine, but we like the bigger, you know, leafier stuff, a nice soft hay for the hay customers. Any bales that get not baled quite right, if they're baled too short or too heavy, we just put those aside because you don't want to lose that feed value. So going over to here, you see, this is why we always keep a few cows right here in the barn. We used to feed all the cows on square bales, but it works out really good with the split loft. All our straw storage, all our hay storage. It works really well having 3 people to do this. A lot of times it's just 2 of us doing it, but with 50 bales, anything that large or bigger, it's just easier on us adults to have one of the kids. So Jack is 17, I drop them, or my husband drops them. In this case, I did. He's the middleman. He puts them on the tailgate, and then Dad can stack them. I had Dad stack this load because stacking it way higher, and because of the wetness, these rental trucks have a really slick plastic liner, and a lot of the newer trucks do. So you have to consider that. When there's a hay shortage, show up with the right vehicle, have it stacked well, get as much as you can, and bring cash. So that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. She's loaded.